Good evening. Welcome to our worship at home. I'm Pastor Matt. This is our very beautiful, charming worship at home leader that we have each week, Mr. Chris. I gotta make sure you're gonna shake that, Mr. Chris Carver. And we are in his home this evening, bringing you our new revamped way of doing worship at home, which is to go through each of the three readings and then to kind of discuss them and talk about the things we found are highlights, lowlights, and things that we maybe forgot about when we did the notes like 4 days ago. But we're going to remind yourselves and hopefully bring a little humor to this and a little bit of a study in God's Word. If you would like to become a person who hosts this in your home, then please let me know, let Chris know, let Miss Paula Ellison know. She's a great voluntolding person, and she would love to get more people involved. If you want, you can email me. It pops up magically, right? About here.
It does.
It does. It's pretty cool. He's a magician.
Right about there.
Computer stuff. So look right here, click on it. That won't work, but then type it in, it'll work just fine. What did I leave out?
Nothing. Oh,
wow, really?
Yeah, no, I think you hit it all this week. So we're going to move on to the opening prayer.
Our prayer for this evening is this. Please bow your heads and bow your hearts with me. Almighty God, you invite us to trust in you for our salvation. Deal with us not in the severity of your judgment, but in the greatness of your mercy. We ask this through Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen. See you first reading?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so tonight's first reading is from Isaiah chapter 55, verses 1 through 9. Come everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and he who has no money, come buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which does not satisfy? Listen diligently to me, and eat what is good, and delight yourselves in the rich food. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear that your soul may live, and I will make with you an everlasting covenant, my steadfast, sure love for David. Behold, I made him a witness to the peoples, a leader and commander for the peoples. Behold, you shall call a nation that you do not know, and a nation that did not know you shall run to you, because of the Lord your God and of the Holy One of Israel, for he has glorified you. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
First off, what a beautiful writing. It's
black and white, but it's beautiful.
It is. But yes, no, the imagery in this is astounding. I love when the Old Testament writers get wrapped up in the imagery that they're trying to create, because it just works so well. This is also one of those texts that I know has been misused over the years, with this beginning here about he who has no money, come buy and eat. Or come buy wine and milk without money and without price. That has been misused politically and socially many, many times over the last 100 years. Don't fall for it, because it's just when you take that out of context, you can take it and use it however you want. But once you read it within this context, it totally changes the meaning of those words. So that's my biggest takeaway with the introduction to this. But the reminder that we get here as well, that to seek the Lord while he may be found, call upon him while he is near. He's always near. So call upon him whenever you need to call upon him. Let the wicked forsake his way, and let the unrighteous man his thoughts. We're unrighteous. We're wicked. We're all evil men. But we get to turn to the Lord, and he forgives us. And that's the reminder that we get in today's passage.
See, when I look at this, I get two visuals in my mind that come up here too. That wasn't the tow truck, was it?
I think it was.
Okay. The two I like here is, do you remember the old TV commercial, Come and Get It? The dog food?
Yeah.
So they rip them back, come and get it. You see like dogs, all these different breeds come running, bouncing in, start pouring the food, the dogs. And this is what the invitation that God has to Isaiah, come and get it. And so I see a whole bunch of like running, galloping, jumping, like those dogs with tails wagging, not our tails, but dogs' tails. And they're all coming for this food that is like so wonderful, so amazing. They want to come get it. They want to come eat it. So the invitation is, come get it, come get the good things. We're at wherever we're at. So two visuals. One was a dog food. Everyone come bounding down. Invitation from God through Isaiah. Come get it. I'm going to provide it. You come get it. Best food ever. All yours. But the second one I get is like a grandmother type, who's always baking cookies, baking. There's so much like goody stuff around. You got like apple pie that's like steaming on the counter. You got cookies fresh baked. She's like, hey, come in here and get it. And if you want to be like a good, responsible kid, like my son Ben's trying to be right now, sort of, he can be like, well, what can I pay or whatever? She's like, no, your money's not good here. And that's kind of this, this is grandma's house.
Yeah.
Your money's not good. I made like 20,000 dozen cookies for you. Money ain't good here. Eat all you like. Well, this is like the best cookies ever. Can I help pay? No, money ain't good here. And that's kind of where, when I look at Isaiah, this great invitation from God, that, I provide this wonderful meal for you. It's all for you. It's the best stuff out there. And so just come eat it. Come in and get it. Well, what do I need to do? How do I need to provide? What do I need to give? No, your money ain't good here. This is something I'm providing for you. And so all this points forward. Again, everything points to Jesus. It all points forward to Jesus is the living bread. Yeah. He's the bread who comes down from heaven, not like the manna of old, but he's that food that it gives eternal life. And so come and get it. Well, how do I get Jesus? What do you do? Don't do anything. It's all provided by God. He's that, okay, I'm making God a grandmother here, but he's that grandmotherly type that has the hot apple pies and all the cookies. Says, hey, come and enjoy. They're all yours. Just come and eat. And so that's what I love here. And if you're like, oh, I can't wrap my head around this, it sounds kind of crazy. The last words you said there are the ones I love. My ways are not your ways. My thoughts not your thoughts. Okay, so so I was just mentioning that the part I also like about this is the where he says, seek the Lord. He says, come and get. So seek and be adamantly listening for that call to come and get, to come and eat, to come and enjoy. And realize when you do that the Lord will have compassion on you and he will grant us pardon. Again, this all points to Jesus. He gives us ultimate pardon in Jesus, ultimate forgiveness, ultimate peace. And if we have a hard time wrapping our minds around that, because we do, him amazing grace, we all love it because it speaks of just the crazy lavish love and generosity of God. Then he says, well, for my thoughts, God's thoughts are not our thoughts, neither his ways are our ways, declares God. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, as high as they are, that's how much further my ways are or my thoughts are than even yours. And I'm like, okay, so remember, he's God, we're not. Kind of like when you're a little kid, that's grandma. She makes all the best stuff, says, come and get it. I just gotta come get it. I've learned now, I don't question, I don't try to give anything. I just say, okay, grandma, thank you, grandma, and I love you, and I'm gonna be really fat because I eat all the cookies you made for me.
That's right.
So those are the visuals I had here. I don't know, I get visuals.
Yeah, and in this text too, like I said, there are so many visuals in it. I don't know how you cannot sit there and read this text and go, just have the thoughts of everything running through your mind. Like, I was getting hungry the first time I read it, to be honest with you. Just because it's talking about milk and honey and bread, and yes, just bread is my weakness, so give it all to me. So I will eat all of it, so.
Although, to be clear, to save on the calories, though, it's food, but it's the food that we get through hearing. Incline your ear to me, come to me, hear that your soul may live. So what we're feasting upon is the word of God. Right. There's no calories in that, which is good. Although the others, I'm not hungry. I had like 3 lunches a day, so I'm like good with that.
And this is diet ginger ale. There's no calories in that either. So
sounds good. So are we good with this one? Should we hit the next one?
Yep. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Then the reading number 2 is from Ephesians 5:15 to 21. Paul writes, look carefully how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit, addressing one another with psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody to the Lord with your heart. Now, giving thanks always for everything to God, the Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ. Here ends the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
So I got the shorter reading.
Look, it says one of my favorite words in it. When the word debauchery ends up in the reading, I'm my ears perk up. So, because I'm like, oh, the word just sounds so harsh that it really does indicate that what you're doing is not appropriate.
Yeah, that's very true. So on this one here, as we go, this is the end of Paul's letter, as we're getting close to the end of it. And it continues that same theme. He's been talking about how we as Christians are to live, and that is in submission to one another. He's talking about husbands and wives, about employees to employers, talking about us and the government. And he wants to get this across. But as Christians, we live each day, we live with the wisdom of God. That same thing that Isaiah said, come and feast and live. We might listen to him. So we seek to follow the Lord's ways, knowing his paths are ultimately the best. So we make the best use of our time, our talents, our treasures, recognizing everything around us that's going on is not good. It's evil.
Right.
Debauchery, that's a good word, yeah.
It is.
Debauchery is like everywhere.
Yeah.
And so knowing that we are surrounded by all sorts of things, even parties, drunkenness, licentiousness, which is not in here. It's another cool word that he uses. He says you can be filled with a lot of stuff in this world. You can be filled with all sorts of knowledge or gnosis, if you would. You can be filled with all sorts of drinking spirits. He says don't be filled with any of that stuff. Be filled with the Spirit. Be filled with the Word. That's what should lead you into the paths of life. And you are filled with the Spirit, then it'll be evidenced in how you live. In wisdom, but that means that you live your life talking with them in joy and happiness, in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. There's a lot of singing here. There's a lot of singing in heaven when you read Revelation.
Right.
So lots of singing, lots of feasting upon God's word, and in all that we do, giving everything, giving thanks and praise to God the Father in the name of Jesus. And then again, that word I like to come back to. See, you like the word debauchery. That's a good word. I like the word submitting. I know it's not a good word today, but it reminds us we submit to each other. We submit to our wives to husbands. We submit to God. We realize this kind of holy fear and respect that we want to listen and support to do what is necessary for spouses, for friends, for our neighbor. Seeking out their good. And we do that always out of submission to or in reverence to Jesus Christ. So there's only 5 verses there, but I think this is telling us be Pentecostals. Live in the Spirit, be led by the Spirit, know that love, that truth of God. And I'm sorry, I had a note here. Talking about words, that word time. It's a 4-letter word, but the word is kairos. Kairos is not chronos. Chronos is your watch time. Right. It tells you, linear. Kairos is God's timing. Right. And so we say that this was meant to be at this moment in time, not what is today, October 19th. We're 20th now as we do this one, but October 20th at 7:15 p.m. But rather it is when the fullness of time, the Kairos, in God's timing. And so I love that. There's so much here, but if you realize that it's God who's leading you, God directing you, then it's really God's plan. So walk according to his plan. Be in submission to each other. Live in the Spirit and be filled with not the spirit of alcohol, but the spirit of the Holy Spirit, God's Spirit, and just live it out. Be on fire.
Well,
literally.
That would not be good. But that verse, the best use of the time, not our time, not your time, his time, her time, out the time. So yes, ta kairos, I think is what it is. So yes, that clearly indicates that it's the ta is the word there. There's no possession to it. So that's what I appreciate about the Greek text of that particular reading.
Makes you slow down, so you don't take it out of context. And that time you have the definite article there. You're like, well, duh. You're like, oh, right. You can't just curse about it. Like, oh, it's talking about something very specific. Oh, it's the God timing, what he's had going on. Yeah.
That's a short reading. There's not a whole lot you can. I mean, we dissected that pretty well for as short as it is.
But 3 words to remember: we got debauchery, we got submitting, and we got kairos, the timing. So 3 great words in that very short passage.
Yeah, debauchery just sums it up. It's like I said, it's such a harsh word. It's just like that's all of the sins. Just all of them. What are the atrocities that we commit against each other, the transgressions and the iniquities? It's all debauchery. So that's the takeaway there. Nola wants to chime in too, but she's not. She gets to hang outside. So today's 3rd reading is going to be the parable of the wedding feast, and this one is from Matthew.
Not me, the gospel writer.
Right, the gospel writer. Yeah, Matthias, not Matthew. So, but This one is a little bit different than one that we have read about in the previous worship at homes. I think this is the third time we've done the parable of the wedding feast, but this is, I think the other ones were from Luke and John perhaps, but this one is, this one's a little bit different. So as we go through this, and again, Jesus spoke to them in parables saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son, and sent his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding feast, but they would not come. Again, he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast.' But they paid no attention and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you find.' And those servants went out into the roads and gathered all whom they found, both bad and good. So the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in and to look at the guests, he saw there a man who had no wedding garment. And he said to him, 'Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment?' And he was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, 'Bind him hand and foot and cast him out into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen.'" This is the word of the Lord. This one, like I said, the imagery in this one's a little bit different than the ones we previously looked at. So this one here really kind of drives that imagery. So first off, we're talking about a wedding feast. Whenever Jesus is talking about a wedding feast in a parable, he's talking about the feast that awaits for us in heaven, because it's the marriage of Jesus and the church. It's not a man and a woman. So that's the first takeaway from this particular text. But he's talking about, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king. I don't know who that king can be, who gave a wedding feast for his son and sent the servants to call those who were invited, but they would not come. That is, in my mind, and I may be completely wrong on this, but what I hear there is that Jesus has come. The feast is going to be for him. God calls all of his servants, all of them, all of his creation. But many of them just are not going to come because they're hearing, they've been invited. God has prepared the dinner. Hello, kitty cat. But
you called him.
Right, yes.
We're going to have a cat tail come to the camera.
I have dominion over the animals. So, but yes, so this feast is, like I said, the imagery is a little bit different here. It's a little bit more aggressive. Hello. Thank you so much.
Camera producer.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll go. So yeah, you're right. This is an eschatological invitation for the wedding feast that is to come, the one in heaven. This is where God sends out his invitation. So again, it fits here with Isaiah. The invitation's out. Come, everyone's welcome. He puts the imagery of a wedding feast. Let's just be honest. The wedding feast story he talks about here is so dark.
Yeah.
Because he invites them. It's kind of like saying grandma's made all this wonderful food, and the grandkid comes in with the baseball bat and says, "I'm going to bludgeon grandma to death." Right. And you're like, no one would ever do that. Why would you ever want to kill grandma? But that's kind of what's going on here. So again, in the time frame, Jesus is getting closer and closer to, he's in Jerusalem now. It's the last days before the cross. He knows that the Pharisees and the chief priests are listening, and they get it. He's talking about them. And so he's getting very poignant about the prophets of old, about how God had established his people and invited them. This is all for you guys. We heard about it in Isaiah. And yet they don't accept. They won't just come. They want to bring into it whatever they want to bring in. They want to bring in their own religiosity. They want to bring in their own ways. And so they start focusing too much on the commandments. Like, no, it's all free. It's all for you. But they won't take it the way that God has it. Now, some say, hey, I got better things to do. The examples here, one says, I got to go take care of my farm. Another one, I got to take care of my business. And a bunch of others say, again, we're going to take a baseball bat to grandma. We're just going to go beat the servants who invited us. You're like, who in the world does this stuff? But when you look back at the Old Testament, you're like, well, God's people did. Because, and so this isn't meant to be like an anti-God's people or anti-Jewish thing. This is the fact that God calls all people, invitations out there for everyone. But they don't come. Even though the invitation is beautiful and meant for all, they say, hey, we got better stuff to do. And so, hey, come to the wedding feast. Come to the gates of heaven. There's one way through Jesus. No, we're okay. We don't want to be there. And you're like, in what world would this ever happen? It seems like it's a crazy story, but then you're like, well, this is what happened.
Well, he talks about while the rest seized the servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. That speaks directly of not only the persecution that Jesus and the disciples will receive, but all Christians are subjected to in various ways. People of this world do seize Christians, they do treat them shamefully, and they kill them simply because they have a belief system that's completely different than their own. So
don't be laughing at that. Our cat keeps coming visiting us over here. He's having fun.
This is what happens while I'm at work.
Makes it hard to get work done.
Well, when you're supposed to be typing with two hands, yes, it does.
So in the parable, the king here is, of course, as we're talking about, is God. Mm-hmm. And so you hear that the king was angry. Now he's very certain God gets angry. Mm-hmm. Why is God angry? He's angry because he wants his faithful people. And yet they will not be faithful. They continue to fall after their ways, say, I got other stuff to deal with, and they turn it away from him. So kind of if, like, you're up there, I walk with my wife, we go get married, we're standing before the pastor. He says, we take her, and he says, yes, I will, better for worse, rich for poor, I will do all this stuff. He says, okay, wife, Rich, will you take Matt to be your wedded husband? No, that's okay.
I'm good.
I'll come back next week, and maybe I'll feel like it then. You're like, that's kind of what's going on in this wedding feast. And so the church of God, so we're talking about the marriage feast you said before, where it's Jesus and the church. The problem is the church, or, Old Testament church, New Testament church, they're like, we got better stuff going on today. We'll come back next week. We got lots of time. Going back to that Kairos comment of the last one. And so the king, God, gets angry. He's like, come on. This is all for you, and you want to kill my messengers? You want to, reject this? You don't even want to come here? What is up with you people? And so he expects us, and that'd be the thing. God expects us to show up. He expects us to be obedient. He has some expectation that we be faithful. Mm-hmm. But as we read through the passages of Scripture, all the way back to Adam and Eve, people have a problem being faithful. They have a problem just listening and following and coming. And so even though we read this today and say, well, it's so obvious, there's a wedding feast, just come and party and eat. I got better things to do in my life. Yep. So, we talk about idolatry, where's that? So key here, going back to that word submit that I mentioned before in Kairos, and this source debauchery, that's the whole other thing about not coming, not wanting to be there, is that God is calling us to be obedient. But the one thing we don't want to miss here, and I guess I'll just add this little part here, is that God loves us so much that he doesn't want us to remain unchanged. He calls us, he wants to bring us into that marriage feast. He doesn't want us to continue in the ways of debauchery. He calls us so that we would truly listen, and that we would come and simply eat, that we would have the wisdom given to us that we can't get through this world. Hello, kitty, how you doing? The tail just popped up in the middle. And so realize that this is not meant to be an anti-Old Testament people or even anti-church people who don't quite get it. This is meant to be a showing of God's love, that he goes to any extent. However, realize that extent is not going to be endless, and the fact that there will be a end times. Mm-hmm. And so we should hear this for what it is and realize, a lot of people in the past have rejected, have said, better stuff to do. And God in his righteous anger said, okay, fine, you're out. Oh, wait, now? The door's shutting now? If it was shutting now, I would have come. I didn't know it was now. I thought it'd be like in 25 years. I got lots of time.
It's like that scene from Spaceballs. It's like, where are we? We're now. What do you mean now? This is now. This is happening right now. When will then be now? Soon. So
if you don't know what he's talking about, you need to watch Spaceballs. Excellent movie. Yes. Hilarious point. Yes. And as they're watching many TVs.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a theological movie. See, now we just lost. You brought Spaceballs up.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's good. Any other thoughts on this Matthew passage?
No, I like I don't like the imagery of the king said to the attendants, bind him hand and foot and cast him into the outer darkness. That place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. He's talking about hell. Like, if you don't come, that's where you're going to end up. So come to the party or go to hell. Literally. I mean, literally. Yeah. Right. It's not the slang invitation like, hey, come to my house and party with us or you can bugger off. This is literally, if you don't attend the party in your obedience, then you will be cast off into hell.
That's where for many are called and few are chosen. God calls everyone. It's out there for everyone. This is not just a certain thing for certain types of people, for rich people or poor people. It's not just for certain ethnicities. This is for all people. But those people who have that thing, are they going to be the ones who actually listen and call? Well, this is where the chosen part comes in. The Holy Spirit works in us. Oh yeah, we do hear. We are going to come and feast. We're going to come and receive. So the words of the prophet Isaiah are kind of put into a wedding imagery here, but I gave some really bad imagery of like a grandma being beat with a bat. Don't remember that one. I'll just repeat it again. But that's what you got here. You have this idea that it's all here. It's all for you. You're like, no, I don't want to come. But it's not that I'm not going to come. I'm going to kill the messengers. It gives you a sense of just how much debauchery God's people got into and why God would be angry. You're like, you gave them something really wonderful. They just trashed it all over the place.
We were talking about that in Bible study this weekend as well. Like, Moses is literally on the mountain, receiving the 10 Commandments, the laws of the Lord, and the people down below are like, we don't really have anything to do, so let's build a golden calf. And others went, well, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. What? Like, you know what, you can see what's going, you're standing at the base of Mount Sinai, you're watching this swirl of cloud and fire spin for 40 days, and then go, golden cow sounds like a good idea. No, does not sound like a good idea.
So I've seen
more debauchery.
I've seen the shirt that Moses was the first guy to get tablets off of the cloud.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking Moses is the first guy to do that emoji, the smack my head one, because I bet he came back down and was like, are you kidding me, guys?
Yes.
The way that starts off is he goes up there, they see all going on, and they say, hey, Aaron, who brought us out of Egypt? Can we worship? Yeah. Oh, here, give me a gold. Here's a gold gift. You're like, wait a minute. Do you guys not see 50 feet away? Do you forget what just happened? And because let's be honest, we human beings, we get stupid.
We do.
We get forgetful. We want to fill in our gaps with our own stuff, and suddenly we find ourselves we've gone way far away. When God's like, I'm all here.
And that goes back to the Ephesians writing that, making the best use of the time, not our time, the time. Our time here on earth is the time. Our time with God is the time. My time when I'm playing games on my phone is not the time.
What about when I'm watching Spaceballs? Is that it?
Or well, I haven't watched Spaceballs in a long time, but I love that movie though. Still to this day,
it's an excellent movie.
It is an excellent movie. But yeah,
you're talking about the time.
Yes,
I got you.
No, nope. Better making the best use of the time, and that's really a choice. Really, Martin Luther wouldn't say that, we have the free will to make that choice of what exactly it is we do with our time. He would say that God has already chosen that time for us.
Because our choices are going to be the debauchery stuff.
Right.
I mean, I do have free choice, but my choice is I want to watch Spaceballs and play video games and not come to church and listen to the word, but I'll go do the other things. So debauchery is where Luther's thing, debauchery is where my natural inclination of choice is.
Right.
So if I have free choice, I do, but my choice is going to be 99% debauchery, 1% maybe sleep.
Yep.
And so probably not God. Yeah.
Yes. Well, most people, many people, it's half of a 1% because 1 hour out of 192 hours in a week is a little less than.
Is that how many hours are in a week?
I believe so.
Okay, I've never actually done math.
24 times 7.
See, you're watching the calculation going and say, okay, good. 24/7.
8.
Carry the 1.
Yep. No, carry the 2.
I think we digress. I think we've hit the end of our readings.
Yep, that's it for our readings this week.
That is. Thank you for joining us. We have too much fun sometimes doing this.
We do.
Yeah, we get off track.
just a lot. It's okay.
But thank you for joining us, and we will now continue with music.
Yes.
I don't know what song, but there's a song that will be played here. Please join me in praying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Hear now the blessing of our God. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look upon you with his favor and give you his peace. Thank you, Chris, for joining me tonight. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Know that I love you, and aloha.
Thank you for joining us in our worship service today. If you are in the Pasadena, Maryland area and are looking for a church home, we would love to meet with you and give you more information on our family here at Galilee. Please give us a call here at the telephone number below. We would love to hear from you. If you are not in the Pasadena, Maryland area, but you are looking for a church home, again, please let us know so we can do our best to get you pointed in the right direction. Thank you to everyone who helped and participated during our service this weekend. We are truly blessed to have such a generous and faithful congregation devoted to sharing the word of Jesus Christ with you. And last but not least, if you enjoyed today's service, please click the like or the subscribe buttons to let us know that you enjoyed it. Please leave us comments if you so desire, and sign up to receive notifications for our Saturday, our Sunday, and our Wednesday Worship at Home services. Have a blessed day, and God be praised.
Okay, so go back to where we're at here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking about dog food, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Dog, yeah, Purina dog food.
It was Purina, that was it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, they come and get it. So going back to where we're at, where
Yep.
we're at.
Let me put this stuff on.
Thanks, Dad.
Yes, thank you, Sam.
You're welcome, Charlotte.
I'm going to do that, whatever.
You know, I think it's a normal teenage thing because my daughter's the same way. Even though I could say thank you and also she's like she's angry with something else.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with you. You do all the work and she's just leaving. You're like, hey, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of mumbling going on out there right now, so. Under breath mumbling out.
She had an Abby face there. She's just like, oh. I was like, okay, like, it happened. He's here. Let's enjoy what we do have.
Yeah.
So, girls in ripped jeans. That was the thing when we were younger. You can't just go out there and wear them and roll around the cement and say they're done. You have to like artistically do it.
There is no artistic method to that, so sorry.
Are we? Or so I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, I think we've already said you can use whatever we're gonna use it.
Yeah.
So I will. I'll go make.